Let's talk about magnets. This helmet does take a few. They are easy to install, but there are some important things that you need to take note of. The first is your magnetic alignment. So we'll start with the 15 by 3 millimeter. And what I like to do first is just take the stack and split it in half. And then set them down far enough apart from each other that they're not going to attract. We'll use a magnet from this stack to put into here. First thing we want to do right here is just abrade this surface real quick, and I just use the point of a file. Any place that I can't get sandpaper into, I'm just going to use a sharp pointy implement of some kind. Let's get all the dust out of there. We got to do the same thing with the magnet. So the surfaces that are pointing down right now, we're going to abrade those surfaces. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, take my stack. I'm not changing the orientation. I'm keeping it exactly the way it is, and I'm going to abrade the bottom surface of the bottom magnet. So just got a piece of 80 grit sandpaper here, and I'm just going to go around and get it to where it looks about like that. So it's going to take some of that shiny chrome off and put some scratches in. Once I've got that where I want it, I'm going to peel it off, and I'm going to set it down with the abraded side facing up. And then I'm going to set, now since I only need 2 of these, I'm going to go ahead and set this stack aside. If I needed more, then I would go ahead and get all that I needed, and I would set them down far enough apart from each other, you know, to where they're not going to attract. My room here that I'm working in is very limited for video purposes, but you're going to want to give yourself enough space to work with the magnets so they're not attracting each other. So I'm going to set this down, and I'm going to get the other stack, and I'm going to do the same thing. The bottom of the bottom magnet. I'm going to just run it around on this 80 grit sandpaper. And I know my hand's kind of in the way, but basically I'm just doing this. Okay? Just running it around like this. And you don't have to do this very long. It doesn't take much to get that chrome surface off. So now I'm going to set this aside. And I don't want these guys to touch, so I want to keep them away from each other. When you abrade these magnets, you're going to get some kind of like a dusty grit, and it will interfere with your ability to glue them. I take just a piece of blue painter's tape, and I like the 2-inch for this, and I'll just go ahead and use the tape to pull off the dust. You want to make sure you get up on the edges. So we'll go ahead and get the other one now. There we go. We got pretty much all the dust. Okay, so keeping these guys separated, these we're going to kick. So we'll go ahead and kick the first one, the one we just finished with, and we'll go ahead and kick the second one. And we're going to put kicker on the surface that we sanded. I've already gone ahead and abraded this surface here. This is where the 15 millimeter magnet goes in the blast shield shroud. Now, on this guy, we're going to just drop a little bead of super glue, and we don't need a lot, just about that much. About the size of a raisin, maybe, and not, you know, not very deep. There you can kind of see how much is on there. So we'll go ahead and we'll grab this guy. Doesn't really matter which one you choose. We're going to test in a second. And we're going to set that into its little groove and just press on it. And you need to hold it with kicker for about 3-4 seconds. And that gives the kicker time to activate the glue. That should be good. So that should be on there now. That's what that looks like. And now we're going to put the magnet into here. And again, we don't need too much. Just about a raisin size or a sunflower seed size. And we'll take this guy and we're going to make sure that we're putting the abraded side down in here. So we want the shiny chrome side facing up. Now this is a snug fit, so we want to make sure it goes all the way in. And it should look like that when you're done. And now this part is finished. It's ready to install. Now we'll check and make sure. You should do this before you install the second magnet, but I'm pretty confident that we got it right, and you can see we did. Okay, so that part's done. And we'll go ahead and put the rest of the magnets in and get on to assembly.